Hi, you guys. This is Ginger Cook, and I'm really excited. I've just finished this painting, this landscape, and using all of these brand new brushes that my daughter, the art stripper, gave me. And I did kind of an introduction to start, but you haven't. I just want you to see what I ended up with. And what I'm doing right now is cleaning the handles so that, as managed to get paint. You look at my hands. I managed to get paint all over them, and I love this. So I'm just cleaning these. Just want to clean my hands because I'll go through each of these brushes. These are really special Art Sherpa white brushes. These were filaments that were designed for acrylic paint. I can tell you that I did this painting a couple of hours. I don't know, what was this, about 2.5 hours, John? About 2.5 hours it took me to do this painting, but I wanted to be able to use the large brushes. I've got them all kind of in water here. You can let me just show you. You can kind of see the ones that I've been doing. Should I hold it up like this? Like that, you can see that I started with a bunch of them, and I went through and I used a whole bunch of these brushes to show you what you would do with different ones. And this is sort of a Colorado fall landscape, and I think it's really pretty. I haven't got a title for it yet, but I'll come up with something. And anyway, we were featuring it. My daughter Cinnamon, really worked hard in conjunction with the Silver Brush Company to get some amazing brushes. And if you're wondering how I'm cleaning my hands, I'm just I figured I'd show you these things. I found these on Amazon, tub of towels. They're for acrylic paint, and they're very nice. It's nice to be able to see the writing on your brushes, and these keep your handles clean, because if you're like me, you get paint all over the handles, and I kind of want to keep these brushes really nice. And of course, this one hasn't been washed yet. It still has paint on it, all right? So this has to go in soap and water. You guys know that. You brush soap and water, clean your brushes, and take care of them. These are beautiful brushes. It's a great set, and we go into great detail on how these brushes work as I clean up my hands here. You can kind of see, and I just get, oh my gosh, look at that. Somehow I get it all over because I'm painting straight on a table, so it's amazing how much paint I get. It's acrylic paint, and it's 11 by 14 canvas, and I'm going through this step by step how to paint this using the different brushes. I have to say that in reviews, and some of my favorite ones are her bright brushes hold even though it's not clean yet, these bright brushes hold such a fine line. I was able to do these fine skinny lines on this tree with these bright brushes. They're amazing. I really like these brushes a lot. You'll hear more about it when you watch this video. Hope you enjoy painting this, and if you like these landscapes again with autumn, go to our fall playlist, and we've got a ton of them. So enjoy this painting. Thank you, and be sure to subscribe to our channel, you guys. I'm going to ask that right at the beginning. I would never think to tell you that. I get so busy painting. Never think to tell you to subscribe to the channel, but that's really important. It makes a difference to us. In that it helps other people. The more people that subscribe, the more YouTube is liable to show our video to others. And when you share these videos, it's really helpful. So if you want to do something really nice, say, gosh, I really like Ginger. I'd love to do that. I want to see more of her stuff. Then subscribe. And if you hit that little bell at the bottom, then you'll see where when we do a live show, you'll be told ahead of time, because we're normally live we put up a new video, whether we're live or not, on Tuesdays, every Tuesday and every Wednesday. If we're not live, we usually put it up in the morning, and if we're live, it goes up. We're live at 7:30 Central Time in Texas, so watch for us. Email us if you have questions you'd like answered on the live show. If you have any questions about these brushes, you can certainly ask Cinnamon or John or me. Just email the Art Sherpa or email me. We love them. And I think these are some of I'm telling you what, this is a real treat for artists to be able to have brushes exclusively designed for acrylic paint. Enjoy the video. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Toodaloo!
Toodaloo!
Okay.
Hi, this is Ginger Cook, and I'm very excited to do a painting today featuring the Art Sherpa brushes. Now, some of you may not know this, but Cinnamon Nakuni, the Art Sherpa, is my daughter, and she had this wish. We've all had this wish of wanting a fairy godmother of brushes to hear us as acrylic artists, the kind of brushes we would want to paint with as acrylic artists, because the way that most brushes are done is they're oil or acrylic, or it's just general. It's good for anything you want to do. Just try it. And the idea that you could get a brush custom made that was just for acrylics is fantastic. And so this took months and months with Cinnamon working with the owner of the Silver Brush Company, and they developed their own brand of filaments. Okay. And what's cool about that, and I've got to tell you, what's really neat about that is that their brushes each were designed for a specific purpose with acrylic painting. And Cinnamon was kind enough that took a little, we had to, I said, you're going to part with these now, because then I'll do a show on them and I'll do a painting. We're going to do a really pretty landscape painting, and I'm going to show you all these brushes. And she wanted, not only does she have them in sets, but she wanted you to be able to buy them individually. So the stores are carrying these individually for her. So we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 brushes we're going to be playing with today. And I'm doing 11 by 14 canvas, something large enough for me to be able to feature all the different brushes and the things I'm going to be using them for, okay? One of the things that very excited about was this one brush that she even got an angle in this long handle. That's the first long handled angle we've seen in every one of these filaments. There's something special about these brushes, and I want you to just know that. We'll talk about that as we paint, okay? So I'm going to just kind of clear these away for a minute. And I've got this 11 by 14 canvas, which needs to be sanded. And I like to do that. If you spend some money on brushes, sand your canvas, because it'll keep them from wearing out. So we're going to sand this right now. Light sandpaper, go back over it. You can kind of tell where you've been. This will make a big difference in how much paint you use. You don't need to do it very long. Just kind of feel around, see how you did. Okay? I mean, isn't that worth your time? Say, it's good to buy quality tools. All right. So the colors that we're going to use for our landscape are raw sienna, yellow oxide, cad yellow medium, dazzling purple, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, burnt umber, burnt sienna, cad red medium, magenta, and white. All right. So I'm going to do an underpainting in sort of a blue tone of our canvas right now. I'm just going to do just kind of probably a little bit of phthalo blue and a little bit of ultramarine blue, probably a little bit of, you know what? I'm going to put out some raw umber, because that's a good neutral tone. That's a transparent color, as long as we're just getting out colors today. Let's put out a little raw umber. And there, let's put a little of that in there. It's kind of old because I don't use it very much, but there you go, a little bit of raw umber. Gonna kind of just squish that together so it's not too bright. Now this is my underpainting. This is not my sky. This is just my underpainting. And there we go. Like that. I'm going to just kind of scrape and mush it down. All right, now I'm going to just scrape all this up on the palette. Now one of the things I'm going to do is I'm taking a little water mister, because it's a fairly large canvas, and I'm just going to slightly mist my canvas. Then I'm going to take the largest one of her brushes, which is let's see, let's put our brush glasses on now. Got to be able to read the fine print. This is called a Silver number 30 Art Sherpa 4002 Bright. And I want you to know that her handles have been triple dipped in epoxy resins. And I'm just giving you an example. Here's an old brush that I've had for years. And you see how the paint is splitting on this? You can just, the resin is splitting and the handle is loose. See, this part here is loose. Well, the way they got these made is these were, double crimped. The crimp on these is really tight, and these handles have been dipped. So, I mean, these are really quality brushes. Plus, feel the spring. Well, you can't feel it, but can you kind of hear the spring on it? So I'm going to dampen it in water, and then I'm going to wipe it off like that on a rag. And I come over here off the little palette knife here, and I'm just going to go ahead and give this a nice coat. This almost looks French blue, doesn't it? Looks like a French blue color. I think that's really pretty. And it was just fun, it's an interesting journey. This has taken months for Cinnamon to be able to get, all these from, designer and design to manufacturing to packaging. They're now in stores. And I said, you know, I'm really proud of her because this brush is just awesome. Look at how I'm covering this canvas, and I'm pushing really hard. It's pushing down into all the stuff. This is an awesome brush. Now, you know, some people say, how come you hold your brush so close to the handle? I'm sitting on it over a table. I'm not going to hold it way back there. How stupid would that be? Just, I guess that came up as a criticism the other day. You just depends on where you're painting, right? But anyway, this is a great brush. I'm loving that. This is great. Thank you, Cinnamon. This is great. You're not getting this back, by the way, did you? You're not getting it back. All right, so now you see how this is just covering beautifully the canvas, and sometimes I'll take a little tiny bit of water, just dip it on the tips of the brush, and this doesn't overload with water. If I did that on a lot of brushes, I'd get too much water on the canvas, but this is just the right amount of water. See that? And look how beautifully smooth that is. That is just a gorgeous brush. Now, this is when you just take the leftover paint. This brush holds a lot of paint. Can you see this? Let me just show you that. Look how much paint that this brush holds. I probably can do all the sides of the canvas. Sure I can, just from the paint that's left over in this brush. Now my hands are getting nice and blue, but everybody's good with that, right? I don't know who these people are that can paint and not get their hands dirty, but look at this. I'm still on the same load of paint on this brush. Isn't that interesting? There you go. Just push that down here like that, and if I put a tiny bit of water just on the tip, that releases some more paint. And look, that's just covered nicely. So if you're a side painter, you always wait till the end of that. All right, we got a little drip there. That's my fault. All right, and just push that right out. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so what happens now? This brush is going in water. And I'm not going to worry about leaving it in water for the couple hours it's going to take me to do this painting because of the way this is built. So in it goes into water. We're going to now pause, and we're going to dry this whole thing with a hairdryer. And I'm just going to hold the canvas up like this and dry it. And I'll see you back after it's dry. All right, this is dry. So what I want to do now is just sort of sketch in what I'm going to do. I'm going to come down here probably and say that I've got some hills. My horizon line is going to be probably about, not here's the middle, so let's get this up a little higher like that, and I think we'll do more hills up this way. Yeah, maybe come up a little higher with our hills because I'm going to move I don't want my horizon line dead center. Then I'm going to say about here, I'm going to just do a little water resource here that's kind of going this way. Maybe off the canvas, something like that, and then I'm going to have a little bank like that. Okay, so let's see, how much of this do I want? I think I want a little more water coming like this. Here's my bank. There, all right, something like that. I'm just using new pastel chalk because that's a good thing to use with this. And all right, so now what do we got? All right, so let's take another brush, and this is the Goldilocks brush, I think. Yeah, the story behind this is years ago, about a year and a half ago, I found this brush I really liked from this brush rep at Jerry's, and I took it over one Thanksgiving, and I left it at Cinnamon's, and she claimed it. She called it her Goldilocks brush, and what's interesting was it was a sample, and the company actually never made a brush as good as the one that they gave me. And so Cinnamon had that design, and she liked it so well. She said, what were the aspects of this? And so here's our Goldilocks brush. It's a number 10 bright. So we're going to start here with a little white, and a little bit of the background color. And I want to come up here in the bottom, and just like this, I'm going to start putting in my sky, like that. I'm going to say, here's my sky, like this. A little bit of white paint, pushing pretty hard. Okay, like that. A little tiny bit of water on the tip of the brush, wipe it off on a rag. A little bit more of this blue background that we used before. Kind of blend this in together. People always ask me about blending mediums. I mean, I have rarely in my life ever used a blending medium. I'm not saying that sometimes I have, but for the most part, 99% of all the paintings I've ever done have just been with acrylic paint, heavy body, really good acrylic professional paint and water, then you say, well, how do you make that quit drying it out so much? Well, you paint little sections at a time. Unlike oil paintings where you can just, pop all around the canvas and do whatever, you can't do that with acrylics. You've got to kind of focus in one section. Always keep the wet edges. See, I'm moving across. I'm not going here and then running over here. I keep moving across with the paint, all right? And always working the wet edges. That's one of the secrets. I don't know if I've ever really expressed it that well, but that's one of the secrets. Now what we've got here is I want a little bit lighter down toward where my mountains are. That's one of the things too when you're doing a landscape is you want something a little bit lighter down toward the mountains. We're not going to fool around with a lot of clouds. I'm just using the side of the brush here like that. It's got a nice stiff, really nice bounce to it. Just using the whole side edge and kind of blending that out like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. See, it's got a nice, usually it's always light. This is where it's going to be the lightest. It's right around your, where the horizon is coming up behind the mountains. That's where you're going to see some light. This is where you want, most mountain paintings, if you do this, you're in good shape, okay? So that's kind of what I want for here. I'm going to bring this up a little higher here. Just at an angle. Do you see that? Now, there we go. That's wonderful. That's perfect. Now, as long as I'm doing that, I'm going to come back in here, and here's my water, and I know that I want that, and I'm going to get a little more phthalo blue with that and brighten that up a bit. I'm going to say, here's my water, and I'm going to just come here sideways, because I know that this is the colors I want in here. Your water is it's a mirror to your sky. That's one of the things people don't realize. If the sky's gray, then chances are the water's going to be gray. And of course, if the water is very clear and it's shallow, and you might have a muddy bottom, for instance, and then the water's going to look brown. I mean, it just depends. Okay, like that. So we're going to say that this is our first coat of our water, and please notice that the brush strokes are going back and forth like that. Okay, so that's so far so good. Now I'm pretty happy with this. I think I could put some color. I'm going to take a little bit of, let's see, what do I got here? Where's my, let's take some mixing white. This is your transparent white. I think I want to play with my clouds a little bit, just have a little fun. There's never enough color in my paintings, so I'm going to just, I always want more color than there is. So let's take a little bit of mixing white and a tiny little bit of magenta. I'm going to come up here and just add a little color to the sky. It doesn't have to be much. Blue skies are kind of boring. What if we just did this and said there was a little color in the sky? Just something like that, maybe. That's pretty. Maybe coming down here. Just something going on. Okay? I like that idea, don't you? A little bit of color. Just, let's see, this a little bit more. I think I could even exaggerate it slightly more. Ooh, that's good. Now a little bit more transparent white. Okay? I haven't tried anything, so this is all using the side of the brush now. I'm just blending this in to here. So there's a little bit of color here, and I'll probably put a little bit of that color back in my water somewhere too. Ooh, wow, what happened there? How about a little bit of, let's pull that off. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of this sky color in the water too. Okay, just down in here like that. And there we go. I just think I might like that. Just make it just a little bit more interesting if you have just a few of these little tones in here like that. Okay, just pull that way. Lift, pull and lift. All right, so that's nice. And how about a little bit more mixing white right here, like that. Now at this point, I haven't tried anything. So if I wanted pure white now, if I wanted more white, I'd rinse the brush, use a nice big terry cloth rag, squeeze your brush, pinch it and squeeze it. Now come back with your white if you want a little bit more white. And then you can just, at this point, everything's so wet, I can almost just tap it now. I'm not pushing very hard. I'm just almost tapping it in here and kind of creating some little clouds here. Just something a little interesting that's going on there. All right, so it's just not a plain old boring sky. Who needs that? Okay, so now we're going to pause and dry everything. Except before I do that, I want to just take a little water and kind of make sure I've straightened this out a little bit. Okay, first good coats of stuff, so we're going to dry.
To continue this painting and to learn more about the Art Sherpa brushes, please join us over at gingercooklive.gallery. The website address is right there on the screen, and it's also in the description. This lesson is 2 hours in length, and that's a little long for our YouTube fans directly, but you can continue this lesson right on our website free of charge. Don't forget gingercooklive.gallery to learn more about the brushes in this fantastic painting of a lake during the autumn.